Still struggling. 9090 is where we're currently at for the Nifty futures, so sub that 9100 mark, in line with the rest of the globe. Although I have to say that Asia has recovered from where it started off in trade. Most markets are trying to trudge around in the green. Australia has seen a recovery. Kospi as well has recovered from the lows of the day, and that can be said about Shanghai as well as the Japanese Nikkei as well. We're holding up in the green as we speak right now. For us, we continue to struggle. The breath continues to linger in the red. Equitas, Idea, Ashok Leyland, M&M as well as Godrej Properties are your key pressure points. Within the Nifty, of course, the pressure is amongst the key financials. Look at what's happening to an Axis Bank and IndusInd Bank. They're both down roughly about 2%. ICICI Bank down 1.7%. And then you're seeing a fair amount of pressure building in the entire auto segment. Bajaj Auto down 1.6% right now. Maruti down 2.5%. Hero MotoCorp down 2.5% on the futures. And M&M is your big drag on the index today. It's down by a good 4% as we speak. But one company which is actually managed to deliver a good set of numbers, that's Escorts. Let's take it across then. And we have with us Mr. Bharat Madan, the Group CFO at Escorts, joining in on the show right now. Mr. Madan, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. Despite the lockdown and the soured sentiment across the auto majors, you've managed to deliver a 200 plus bips margin expansion. Was there a one-off in the fourth quarter, or do you think that you managed to withstand all that the rest of Motown was facing?
Well, I think this both reasons mix for the quarter. So obviously, since the entire nation went into lockdown all of a sudden, so obviously there was some inventory buildup which happened, which led to some positive impacts on the margin front too. But even otherwise, we're expecting this quarter to be a record quarter in terms of margin performance. If the quarter was normal, probably we would have ended with another record volumes and record numbers in this quarter in the history of this company. So we remain bullish, I think, on the segment and as well as in the margin front. So we did a lot of operational efficiency which are paid in this quarter, irrespective of the fact that there's some one-off which has happened because the inventory build-up is close to 2%. But otherwise also, I think the margin remains good. The commodity prices have softened, and whatever operational leverage the company was working on, they started paying results.
Sure. I was just going through your con call as well, and you seem pretty positive on the tractor industry growth. What gives you this bullish sentiment right now? Because across channel checks that we're running, we're getting very mixed signals. While sure enough the COVID impact hasn't hit the rural segment of the country as hard, but sales are still pretty bleak. Why then are you so bullish about tractor sales going forward?
Well, I think there are two, three reasons. One, obviously, like I said, since the rural market is not much impacted, and this time we've seen a record harvest of the crop. And as you know, we are very strong actually player in the northern and central India belt, where Rabi is the key crop. So there's a very good demand which we're looking at in the market, especially the certain pockets like Haryana, Rajasthan, where the crop has been record level harvesting, and there's good money available in the hands of the farmers. The government is doing a lot from its side in doing the extensive procurement from various agencies. So it is, I think, we expect next 2-3 months will actually have very good money availability in the hands of the farmer. So question is now how quickly we can open up. So we have good inventory levels with the channel partner and also with the company. And we think this entire period when this pent-up demand is coming back to the market now, we should be able to serve that demand and actually get into the retail sale.
Given that this time the winter crop has been strong, the farmers in a sense also have got a lot of money from FCI. Wedding season this time has not been great, which means that the grain sector, the savings are also going to be very large. Do you see that with each passing quarter, tractor demand will only go higher and higher? Because to be very frank, Mr. Madan, agri is the only space where the real economic lockdown disruption has not happened.
Yeah, that's right, Nikon. So I think that's what we are also expecting. So one, obviously, is the pent-up demand. We actually lost 70,000-80,000 tractors as an industry during this lockdown period of 40-odd days. And now going forward, when we are in the peak of the season, when the next sowing season has to start. So this is the time when the maximum demand is there normally for the tractors. Farmers need tractors to do the mechanization. And actually, this whole issue of the labor migration is actually helping this sector because since the labor is not there in the villages, they need the equipment to do the harvesting and do the sowing. So which actually will add to the positive demand scenario over here. And we expect from June to October period especially, we see the industry should actually see a growth number coming in at this period. And maybe after that, I think a lot will depend on how the monsoon pans out for the distribution. But we are pretty bullish, I think, on the whole year.
What is your understanding of the second-hand tractor market? In this kind of a time, do you think the second-hand car market could also pick up and that could also have an impact on your sales, or there is nothing like second-hand tractor market, it only is there in second-hand cars?
No, so there is a good second-hand tractor market. So if you know, about 60% of the sale actually happens under the replacement program. So the exchange happen for the old tractor, the new tractor. So in between during the lockdown, obviously the things got stuck, but now we see that recovery should also happen. But second-hand tractor also sees a good demand when you are a construction and infra space opening up. This where the tractor also get used up for the haulage activity. So I think as you see the government pushing the program and opening the infra space and going with the various projects which have been announced now, so that should see some pickup happening in the second-hand tractor demand too.
Which are some of your plants where if lockdown continues in parts of India, operations will remain unaffected? You know, the reason I'm asking you this is because making a tractor or a car is just beyond an assembly line. There are parts which have to be sourced from all parts of India. And given that, you know, Maharashtra, the lockdown has got extended, we know that there are some other challenges in some other states. Can you operate at efficient capacity, and do you have enough raw material stroke auto parts with you that your operations will not get affected?
Yes, I think, like you said, so supply chain is going to be one of the challenge. So we see, I think, the problem more on the supply side than at least on the demand side. So that is for the next few months. So we have about 600 odd suppliers who are spread all over India, and especially a lot of suppliers who are also in the red zone today, especially in Maharashtra and South Belt. So there will be, I think, issues. I think there may be deception, but like you said, this is a new normal now. So we'll probably keep on looking at these issues coming up. Some suppliers coming from red to orange zone to green zone, and some moving from green to red zone. So that's why I think there has to be a very dynamic planning exercise which has to be in place, and probably it would be a good idea for some time to actually build up inventory as you see the opportunity, so that you don't see disruption on the production front. So, but yes, we think that this is like a new normal. So gradually, obviously, the companies can't afford to keep factories closed. So gradually, the things will open up. So we are right now operating only at 20% of the efficiency in our plants in Faridabad. And we expect by June we should be able to take it up to about 50% level. And we've been given permission by the government to operate with 75% workforce now. And by July we expect everything should come back to normal. And hope by that time the supply chain also will be actually reaching this normalcy.
Have any showroom sales started for Escorts? I mean, are you getting a sense that customers are now walking into showrooms where the economy is open, they are looking at a tractor, touching at a tractor? Has that activity started?
Yes, so in our case, like it's almost 60-65% of the dealers' showrooms have been opened now. And if you talk about the workshops, the service activity was actually allowed to open up right on 3rd April, within 10-12 days of the lockdown. So about 90% of the dealers' workshops who are servicing tractors are also open. But unlike in the auto space, it's not the space where tractors, the customer actually walks to the showroom and looks at the tractor and buys it. So in this case, it's more like a BTL activity where actually the dealer sales people have to go down to the villages and talk to the customer and convince them and sell the tractor. So dealers visit, farmers visit to the showroom actually is the last option which happens. So we don't think opening of showroom really has a concern. That is now. I think issue was more with the dealer is able to operate full capacity. Sales executives are able to visit the villages and go and talk to the farmers. This activity has started now, like you said, in 60-70% of the cases. But every day we are seeing a good opening of the dealer showrooms now. Almost 60-70 showrooms are opening now every day. So we expect in another week to 10 days time, probably 80-90% of the dealership will be open.
Sure. Mr. Madan, one final question. What is it that you can tell us about the lending environment? Because as we understand, banks are turning increasingly risk averse. Do you think they would be willing to lend to the agri sector?
So we've been talking to various banks and NBFC, I think the last fortnight, almost 15, 20 institutions we have been contacting. So I think more or less they all seem bullish on the agriculture front. Yes, they have been concerned around other sectors with the moratorium coming in, the liquidity getting hit. So initial period we had seen this impact, especially when the total lockdown was there, where it requires the NBFCs and banks field team also to be there in the field to do documentation, look at the field inspection. So the process itself involved a lot of physical involvement from the people side, and then there was cases of the positive corona cases which came up in some cases. So the actually banks and NBFC had stopped in between, but now many of them actually done the digitization. They have been able to do the automatic approvals digitally, sitting at a remote location, and in many cases the field inspections are also started now. So banks and NBFC sector also today is operating with almost 50-60% of the branches in these areas, rural areas where we are present. And then the impression which we are getting is today, so the farmer has the money, they are coming to the branches of these NBFC banks to pay the installment, but it's the other way around, where the banks are closed, NBFC branches are closed, so they're not able to pay. So which is a very positive sign, because the money availability is not an issue. So I think as soon as they keep opening their branches in these areas, which is the activity will actually pick up, and financing should not become an issue. And it's a preferred actually area where the banks and NBFC would like to lend, where the money is secure and the money is available to the farmers today.